Hi everyone, I just wanted to put together a video this week since you have your first assignment to do by the end of this week on the 16th. So I just wanted to walk you through a few things and just kind of talk about some of the content that you've probably been looking at so far. So you've probably noticed we haven't had too many activities in the class, and I did that on purpose, just knowing that your other online courses were pretty intense or have been pretty intense these last couple of weeks. So I'm hoping that you're at least just kind of looking ahead. So I know I'm kind of giving you all the upcoming assignments, but that's just so that you can get an idea of what the expectations are, maybe trying to think of some ideas, what you might be doing, but you can see most assignments aren't due until, so there's January, February, but the one I want to focus on is back in week 2. So back in week 2, you had some practice on writing competency statements. You were kind of looking at a hobby of yours, kind of writing out the steps and the skills that are required. I now want you to start thinking about a skill that you have that's more related to where you see yourself going for your directed field study, or where you see yourself going in the future as a future career. So what is a skill set that you have right now that's going to help you in that direction? So if we look into the assignments, so there is the assignment instructions and the assignment evaluation criteria. So if we go into the instructions, load. There we go. All right, so what you're going to see that it is it's producing a competency profile that clearly expresses the knowledge and skills you've gained from a single experience or a single set of skills that you have. I'll show you an example. There is one coming up here. I'll show you an example of this. So you'll see there's some examples here. It kind of gives you some ideas of where you can go back into the module for some specific ideas and some help with that. But if we look in, if we go back to Moodle, and here is a student sample. So I think if I go through the sample, that might be the most clear. All right, so what I want you to include with this is a narrative. So the narrative is giving me some background on where these skills came from. So what was the work experience? What was the location? What was the environment like? Who did you work for? What was the company? So giving some background. So you'll see, here's an example of a student's work. You can see kind of what their responsibilities were, where they worked, that sort of thing. Then it breaks down, so you should have one general area, at least 2 kind of more specific competencies, and then within those, you have your specific tasks. So you'll see that this isn't so much steps in a process. Sometimes it follows kind of step by step, but it's what are the skills required? And think of it like it's the sum of the parts. So these Roman numerals here, these smaller Roman numerals, think of this, that if you can collectively do this set of tasks, it gives you this skill of repair pipe breaks in irrigation systems. And then repair pipe breaks in irrigation systems and B, replace damaged sprinkler heads. Together, those 2 competencies give you the overall general competency of repair irrigation problems on a golf course. So it should all break down into smaller and smaller pieces. You should then be able to check it and see if it kind of works backwards. If I add all these up, does it give me this one? If I add up A and B, does it give me this overall skill? So this is the practice now of breaking these skills apart into smaller and smaller pieces. What are the individual components that you need to be able to do this larger skill? There's also the practice of writing them in their 3-part statements. So you'll see all of these start with a verb. They have the general, so repair irrigation problems, specifically where? On a golf course, because you could have irrigation problems in a variety of locations. Specifically, this is on a golf course. So make sure with all of these statements that you're trying to add that verb, general, specific. Make sure your verbs are observable, they're measurable. You want to stay away from verbs like learn, understand. They're too vague. You want to try to have a verb that's definite and you can actually see it or measure it compared to others. So if you go back into the assignment, especially in the module, there are some examples. There's some verb sheets in there that will give you some ideas of verbs that I recommend and verbs to stay away from. So you were given some feedback back in November when you were doing your discussion forum on writing out those statements. Look at the feedback I gave you. Maybe look at how some other students wrote out theirs. Might give you some ideas, but you're really trying to focus on how are you going to break those skills down into those 3 tiers and trying to stay with that verb, general, specific format for each sentence structure itself. So you'll see it's worth 5%. This is just a good practice assignment for me to give you some feedback, see how you're doing, because with this assignment, you can actually take the work that you're doing now and you can use it when you do your full competency profile in the new year. So this is kind of a stepping stone. We're doing a smaller piece that will just add, and you're going to continue on and keep doing this for your complete competency profile. So hopefully this kind of helps give you some ideas. Hopefully this video kind of answers some of your questions. If you're still not sure, let me know and I definitely can help you out. So like I said, this is due on Sunday. Today is Monday, so you have a week to get this done. Hopefully maybe you've been poking away at it already, but you still have a week to complete this. So yeah, like I said, let me know if you have any questions, and I hope everything is going well. So have a great week. Okay, thanks.